Hello and shalom, friends. This is Mayim Vega welcoming you to the Arukah Life Academy podcast again, where we dive into stories of healing, transformation, and the wisdom found in nature. This podcast is a project of Arukah.com, where our holistic healer certification program empowers people to become holistic healers in naturopathic herbalism, holistic life coaching, and online business and marketing. So if you're seeking to become a powerful force for wellness in the world, check out our certification program at Arukah.com. And today I'm thrilled to introduce Jessica Meinhofer, an inspiring voice in outdoor wellness and conservation. Jessica is a cancer survivor, outdoor enthusiast, and passionate advocate for Florida's natural springs. Her journey, marked by a personal transformation following cancer, redefined her relationship with the outdoors. What once was about endurance and miles has become a path to inner peace, healing, and presence. Jessica's work with the Florida Springs Council underscores her dedication to preserving these natural treasures for future generations, ensuring they continue to serve as sanctuaries for healing. Through her blog, she offers practical insights for anyone, regardless of fitness level, to experience the beauty and solace of Florida's state parks and waterways. Whether you're a seasoned adventurer or a first-time paddler, Jessica's message reminds us all of nature's profound ability to rejuvenate our spirits. Welcome, Jessica. How are you today?
Hi, great. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Yes, you have an amazing story. I know a little bit about it, but could you just start from the beginning?
Sure. So I have been hiking for more than 20 years. Initially, it was a way to just hang out with the guy that I liked. And it went from that to like, oh, I really like this. And now here I am still hiking. Of course, my journey to where I am right now changed. I was an RVer full time. We would sprinkle in some hiking here and there. But then in 2020, during a pandemic, I was also diagnosed with cancer, and that meant I was off the trails for a while. I would try in every way possible to get out. I had some really good days, and those were the days that I was like, let's see if we can hike a little bit, even if it was just more stopping than hiking. But I tried to get out there as much as possible. And now I get out there again. I hike as much as I can, but it's less about, putting in the miles and a lot more about a reset. It's more about grounding, it's more about connection, and it's just changed how I view my surroundings every day.
Awesome. So the hiking was part of your healing journey, right? Can you go deeper into that?
Yeah, so I made a list as I was getting closer to being done with my chemo. And on there were a lot of different things. Some of them I haven't gotten to yet, but hiking was way up at the top. It was one of the things that I just really wanted to get out and do again because it was always something that I enjoyed. And we would do family hikes. So going from not being able to move around very much to getting out on the trails was it took a lot longer than I thought it would. I was asking my oncologist, okay, when I'm done with chemo, when will I be normal again? When will I be able to do this stuff? And he was like, well, about 6 months. So I set, a countdown, 6 months hit, and I was still lounging on the couch.
You
Not,
just didn't have the energy.
no, I couldn't do that. I had lost so much of my muscle mass during chemo. It just wasn't. I mean, I see some people that can and do like work out and pretty much maintain, I wouldn't say the same lifestyle, but they can keep a lot of that. And I wasn't able to. My chemo was really intense. So I wasn't able to do that. So I hired a trainer and we started with just basically stretching. and we just kept building. And I was living in a neighborhood with sidewalks and street lights and all this stuff. So I was going, it was only a mile around it. And I would just keep like trying to do more and more slowly. And then we started just taking short hikes and taking it easy. And that's how I went sort of from nothing to hiking. I'm still sort of doing easy hikes. I'm still doing, I'm not doing like a full day of hiking. I'm doing like maybe a 2 hour hike, just a few miles, nothing major, just because it's become more of an enjoyment thing than a how many miles did I do and how fast did I do it. So it's just
So
all changed for me.
about how long ago was this, the diagnosis and the chemo and things like that?
I was diagnosed early May of 2020. So basically, right when everything was totally shut down. Um, and then I went through treatment all the way until I think my very last one was the end of October of 2020. And my chemo was, I would get chemo for 24 hours a day for like 5 days straight. So I would go in on a Monday, be there basically all day getting my infusion, and then I would go home with like a little bag that had an infusion pump in it to continue to get it. And then the next day I would get more, like it was just and then I would go home with another little bag uh, for overnight,
Can
five
I
days a week.
ask
Yes,
what kind of cancer it was?
it was lymphoma. I don't know the actual scientific name for it because I didn't focus on that when I was going through chemo. My husband was wonderful and he kept track of exactly what I had, the medications I was taking. He handled all of that while I
Mm,
um, kept myself focused on healing and joy during that time.
okay. So am I to assume that the man that you used to hike with that you just liked, he was the one that you later married?
Yes, yes,
Okay, that's great. And I thought I heard you mention that you have children. Is that correct?
I do. I have two, a 12-year-old and 15-year-old, and we full-time RV'd with them as well. And they've been hiking since they were newborns. We went. There's even like a photo. There's a few photos. One of me with my toddler. He was like 2 at the time, and I was like very pregnant, and we were camping and hiking. And then, and like once my daughter was born, we did another camping trip, tent camping at the time. Um, and I'm like nursing a newborn while hiking with also a toddler, but that's just our life. We just literally just, well, let's strap the children to us and go up a mountain. Obviously not in Florida, but
There's not many mountains in Florida, right?
no, there's a few hills.
Yeah, yeah. Same thing
There's some
here. Like I'm
hills.
I'm in Texas and I moved from California. Yeah, and what they call mountain here in Texas is usually a hill in California. There's a few legitimate mountains, but it's mostly flat.
Yeah, yeah. Here's
So just for people who don't know what lymphoma is, I just wanted to say a little bit about it. Lymphoma is a type of cancer that originates in the lymphatic system. That's why it's lymphoma. And your lymphatic system is where your lymph nodes are part of that system, and it's part of your body's immune system. And this lymphatic system includes lymph nodes, spleen, tonsils, and bone marrow. And it helps the body fight infections. So lymphoma occurs when abnormal and cancerous lymphocytes, a type of white blood cell, grow uncontrollably. And there's two types, main types, anyways, of lymphoma. There's Hodgkin lymphoma, HL, and this is typically characterized by the presence of Reed-Sternberg cells, a specific type of abnormal cell, and it's generally considered more treatable. And it often affects young adults, but it can occur at any age. Then there's also non-Hodgkin lymphoma, NHL, and this is a more diverse group of blood cancers that affect the lymphatic system. And it's more common that Hodgkin lymphoma can occur at any age, with some subtypes being more aggressive than others. So the symptoms can include swollen lymph nodes, fever, night sweats, weight loss, and fatigue. And treatment varies based on the type of stage and lymphoma, and it can include chemotherapy, like you mentioned, also radiation therapy, stem cell transplants, and targeted therapies. Some holistic approaches to this would include diet and nutrition, especially an anti-inflammatory diet, avoiding bad oils, bad seed oils, and boosting omega-3, organic and whole foods. A lot of people successfully use juice fasting, vegetable, fresh, raw juice fasting to help unleash their inner healers. Nutrient dense food, staying away from sweets and carbs and all these things that feed cancer. There's also herbs that can be used, adaptogenic herbs, anti-cancer herbs, immune boosting herbs. And there's also mind body practices, which is, part of what you get when you hike the way that you do, meditation and mindfulness, stretching, yoga, breathing exercises, also detoxification, sauna therapy, liver support, hydration, proper hydration, and also spiritual and emotional support, lifestyle changes like exercise and proper sleep. And also, very important is reducing environmental toxins and EMFs and things like that. So, I'm sure that you've incorporated a lot of these things, right? Afterwards.
Yes. And I mean, I did some while I was going through it. Definitely, like I kept my mind on healing and like healing scriptures and, being prayerful. And also, I just seeing myself as healed already and finding joy in my life, even though I was going through all of this. And connecting with others, like at the oncology office. I had an amazing care team, not only like at the oncologist, I'm going to call her the world's greatest nurse. I mean, she was a friend, really. I mean, yeah, she was caring for me, but the kindness that she showed was incredible. And, especially, we're in an infusion room. There's a bunch of us in these, chairs, and we can't have any loved ones with us because we're going through it during a pandemic. So all of us are going through this on our own. And normally there were also uh, volunteers that would come around and give you blankets and all stuff, and they couldn't come either. So it was just like the nursing staff. And even though they were now doing their jobs, plus that of the volunteers who would come in and, like give that, not that the nurses weren't loving, but there would be a volunteer that could handle more of that. The nurses still did all of it, and they were an amazing team. And I had friends and family. My mother took care of me. Um, my husband normally would have been doing that, but he was working in Colorado and he had to commute during a pandemic, which was really weird. And of course, there were concerns about, well, you're traveling, there's COVID. My immune system is not great right now. How do we work through that? There were a lot of things, but I enjoyed connecting with other people through this treatment, and showing kindness to others that were also going through this. Being friendly, not that I could really interact. We had literal like dividers. That part was terrible because you couldn't have that connection, but I still tried, and being friendly and praying for people, if they wanted it, if they asked for it, whatever what the deal was, part of what I did. And while I was going through chemo, I was living at my parents' house, and they lived on 5 acres that were mostly wooded. So there would be like wild turkeys going through. They had a pool. I wasn't swimming, but I could look at, I mean, it's beautiful. I'm just sitting there watching turkeys go by. There's a pool with like a fountain in it. I was in the best place I could possibly be for what I was going through. And I knew this and I appreciated it. And I found joy in that because I knew that there were other people that were going through it alone that didn't have practically like a spa environment that I was in. Like, so that kind of changed my perspective too, showing Thanksgiving and finding joy in those. And we would find ways of getting out. Sure, I couldn't hike, but maybe I could walk down the driveway. It was a really, really long driveway, and there were trees that just formed this canopy. It was beautiful. And I would just walk that. Um, just finding little bits and pieces of joys and things that I loved, including connecting with the outdoors, even while going through that, made a huge impact in my life, in my recovery, in my journey
Absolutely,
healing.
fully. And you know what? People really need to hear that. They don't realize how much that plays a part. Sometimes chemotherapy kills people. Um, not that it doesn't kill the cancer cells, but your immune system is also destroyed. And
Mhm.
people don't realize how much everything that you just said right now can help support your body's inner healer. I just wanted to read a little bit of statistics on recovery when one has faith and positivity and gratitude and these types of things that you mentioned. Research indicates that individuals who maintain a positive outlook and have strong faith during cancer treatment often experience better outcomes. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Oncology found that patients with advanced cancer who engaged in positive religious coping reported higher quality of life and were less likely to receive intensive life prolonging care near death. And additionally, the National Cancer Institute notes that spirituality and religion can influence important decisions, including end of life care, and may support a positive attitude, helping patients and caregivers feel better. And so these findings suggest a correlation between faith, positivity, and improved health outcomes. Of course, individual outcomes are going to vary based on a lot of different factors. This is just one factor, but it's a very important factor. And you mentioned the Bible, you mentioned faith and praying for people. And in the Bible, we find verses like in Isaiah about how when you, like you're saying, you prayed for people. It talks about how when you help others, that God will give us strength, that God will give us healing. It also talks about in the Bible how laughter does good like a medicine. And so when you can find the good things in life, like you were just you were helping me to envision the beautiful things in your parents' property. And so I could feel the gratitude, the joy, the inner joy. It wasn't like a watching a comedy show, ha ha ha, that kind of laughter. It was like a joy, like an inner joy, a sense of gratitude. And our Bible says that these things help us to heal. Whether it's, maybe it's not a direct physical reaction, but I believe it's partly that. But it is definitely a spiritual gift of healing that God gives us, and that science is just barely starting to tap into and research. There's an author that I'm listening to right now. If you haven't heard of him, his name is Joe Dispenza. He has a lot of books right now. I'm going through his book, You Are the Placebo. And he talks about how there are many people who heal with the placebo effect. And the reason why is not because is because of the kinds of factors that you were saying. It's about their positivity, their outlook, their faith in their own healing, whether they put their faith in a treatment like a pill, or they put their faith in prayer. Just that positivity, that outlook plays a huge role in strengthening our immune system. And nature
Mhm.
and sunshine, vitamin D, there's a lot of statistics that show that vitamin D can can uh, can help support healing cancer, can help people avoid cancer, and things like that. And another thing I think it's really important to mention is unresolved trauma. Holding on to emotions and experiences in our past and continuing to let those affect us, um, and continue to let our bodies be in this fight or flight, stressful um, stage instead of a relaxed stage, which you allowed your body to be in more after the treatments. When you went hiking, you're saying that it was more about meditation and appreciating nature and things like that, not about exercise so much and things.
Yeah, it's makes a difference. And I know you were talking about also like laughter. So I did watch a lot of comedy. Like I was like in the Bible praying something funny. Tom was like trying not to get into any dark place. And I did all of that, but then of course when I came out of it, a lot of the stuff that I didn't, I guess I would say suppressed during all of that, like sort of hit me. And then I had to deal with those feelings. That's just sort of how I am. Like in the moment, I focus on the positive, getting through and all those things. And then once I get through whatever's going on, and then I deal with, you know, those other feelings. But for me, that works. And I feel like, okay, well, I'm through that other part. Now I can deal with all this other stuff. So I also don't want anybody thinking that like I emerged out of chemo and I was like, ooh,
Right,
you know,
right, right.
there was a small part of me that was like that, but there was a whole other part of me that was like, I literally can't get off the couch today, and anytime there was any, and even still, I work through like anytime there's a symptom that was part of the chemo, the cancer, whatever, I'm like, okay, I have to like take a minute and be like, all right, let's just not jump to this. Let's stay right here. Maybe let's do, yeah, let's maybe we need to take an extra yoga class this week. Maybe just go ahead and go outside real quick, take your shoes off. Let's feel the grass. Let's just see what happens in the next day or hour or something. Let's not just immediately jump to cancer. Let's just take a deep breath and wait. And then if like I still feel that way, we'll set up a doctor's appointment where we can get an expert. So I do want to like not sugarcoat any of these things, because there is real like trauma from going through all of that. And I do have I continue to go to the same medical team. I found a good regular doctor, primary care, and they recognize that and they let me speak on it. And then they're like, okay, let's look at the numbers. Let's look at the blood work. Let's see where you're at. So I appreciate that they let me feel my feelings, acknowledge them, understand that it is normal to feel this way, or to have these reactions. And then like talking me down, like, well, here are your actual numbers. Everything looks great. Um, yeah, I just wanted to speak on that because that's the reality.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being so transparent. And I wanted to explore, is it okay if we explore your website a little bit and things?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to share the screen. So it's walkandpaddle.com, right?
Yes,
Can you tell
yes,
us more about what you offer here?
sure. I talk about hiking, paddleboarding, Florida Springs, Florida State Parks, and just helping people. that are either new to it or maybe they've gone through something like I did with a health situation where they're not really sure where to start, where to go. And I help them find places. I give them, easy hikes, easy paddles, and things like that to get them started, help with confidence. And also, I share things because there's some things I'm still learning myself, places to go and things to do. And I research that and then I share it here.
Cool.
A
So,
lot of the stuff is, sorry, a lot of the stuff is local to me right now because I'm not traveling. I am Florida based right now. So a lot of that stuff is just closer to where I live that I share.
do you find that you get a lot of people who are also either cancer survivors or battling cancer, following you through your blog?
Um, I find more people that just are loving or love maybe the idea of getting started, not necessarily that they've gone through an illness, but people feeling
Okay,
like maybe they could do it too because I did, because I basically started from nothing after chemo and have been able to get back on the trails.
got it. So you go as a family, right? Now?
A lot of times, although now that the children are 12 and 15, sometimes they're like, and we're like, okay, we'll see you later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want their own life, right? When they get to that
They
age.
do, yeah. And sometimes if they're not with their friends, we have a lot more success hiking and paddling when we bring friends along. And we do that on occasion. And usually for my birthday or holidays that are special to me, I'm like, we're doing a family, fill in the blank, hike or paddle, or we're going to go to a state park. That's usually what I want to do. So I'm like, it's my day, or this is a very important day to me. We're going to do this.
So what can you tell me more about this, your gear list?
Yes. So that is for anybody that is either getting started or maybe they're like, well, I have some stuff. Let's see what Jessica recommends. And I just have a very simple list of gear, whether you're going to be hiking or paddleboarding, to get you out, from just practical stuff to safety requirements. And then I throw in a few fun items too.
Cool. And
Because
so
if
you're
you're out there and you're
also
not having fun, then what's the
yeah.
point?
Yeah, for sure. So you're also on Instagram. Or are these is that are all these your pictures?
Yes. Yep.
Is that your husband right there?
That is. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's Robert.
Is he also Puerto Rican?
He, he is an interesting mix. There's some Panamanian, Puerto Rican, and then there's other stuff in there too.
Okay. Is that that's not your child, is it?
It is, but this was a while back.
A long time
Like
ago,
this in
right?
this one,
Yeah.
I was pregnant. You can't see because I'm facing away, but
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then oops, oh, that's us. Um and this is your Pinterest.
yes.
Okay, awesome. So what does and you can subscribe to your blog as well, right?
Not so
Okay.
much subscribe to the blog as much as if you get on my email list, then not only will you get the checklist, but you also get an email from me every week. And in there, I share my blog posts. So like this is the new one for the week. So that way everyone does stay up to date with that.
So basically this form on your website and this form do the same thing. They get you the list and get you on your
Yes.
email list. Okay, great.
Yes.
We'll put those in the show notes.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
so what does the future look like for you? What are your plans, your visions, your dreams, your goals?
Oh gosh, that's so much. I haven't thought about that. Maybe I should. I want to continue with walk and paddle, and I want to keep going deep into the places I've been. Because for me, I have to go multiple times so I can get a really good feel. I need to go in the morning and the evening so I can share content that is well-rounded for people. But I do want to branch out a little bit. I would like to travel more and still hike and paddle, just different locations. And I would like this to be the thing that I do that is absolutely my full-time income generating thing. I want to inspire other people to join me. Maybe I don't do guided paddles or guided hikes, but maybe we all meet together as friends and we all go and do these hikes and paddles together as a community.
All right. So do
I
you have
love,
something set up like that locally already? Or you're
no.
maybe planning to in the future? You'd
Yes,
like
I
to
don't
in
know
the
what that
future?
looks like, but that would be a lot of fun to have kind of, I guess, meetups where we go and paddle. I do have like friends right now that I know that are hikers and paddlers that are more experienced than me or have been to these places that I haven't been yet that I connect with and go with for fun. So I would like to continue that, but just open it up to people that are new via the community, which I'm growing.
Awesome. Mainly through your email newsletter, right?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
and on
We'll be
socials.
sure to subscribe to that.
Okay.
Can you tell me a little bit about your advocacy for Florida Springs through the Florida Springs Council?
Yes. So I am a new member. This started this year. And the reason that I connected with them is I have lived in Florida, minus my RV years, a few years here and there in Florida. Like I came here when I was 4 years old. I left when I was 22, came back, left, came back, and now I'm here. And I've seen our springs change. And I was concerned about what
Like,
is happening.
like how so? In what way?
So springs are supposed to have vegetation on the bottom. They're supposed to be blue. You're supposed to be able to like stand from a distance, be able to see through the water and see all this vegetation and that blue water with all of these animals. And now they're green and the vegetation is gone. The vegetation that is there
Mm.
is kind of getting choked out by algae, and the kind of wildlife diversity that was there is decreasing. That's not to say we won't see alligators, we won't see turtles, we won't see manatees showing up. We do, but in different quantities and different numbers, and just the water quality is not great.
And what do
And
you attribute to that?
it kind of depends on where you're at. Different springs have different kind of factors contributing to that. Like where I live right now, I'm in Volusia County, Central Florida area, and most of that is from septic tanks and from urban fertilization. So nitrogen getting in there and causing this increase in algae. Um, for expert absolute advice, so going to the Florida Springs Council.org is where you're going to find really great information because I am just a representative here. um, and I am also learning myself. And I was seeing this thing happening to our springs. I'm just watching it over the years and I wanted to get involved, but I didn't know how. And, I'm a wife, a mom, I homeschool, I'm running a blog, I'm doing all these things. I'm like, how can I do this that fits into my life where I'm not devoting so much to it or something that just it requires so much of me that I can't participate. And that's how I found the Florida Springs Council. They were actually at a brewery for a little meetup. I'm not really sure what to call it, but they go and they have a table with information and merchandise and you can speak to them. And that's how I met them. And I was like, you guys are amazing. I want to get more involved. And they make involvement easy. They have this automated email. So let's say there's a situation like they were trying to take our state parks and put golf carts on there, pickleball courts, and other things. And they created this automated email that you can like put in your information, but it was all basically written out for you. You can tweak it and change it, and then you can send that out. and they provided like phone numbers to call. So it just makes, instead of you having to like dig down and find a lot of research, they provide it for you. Of course, you can always go and reference that and make sure that you agree with what they're saying. And, you can do additional research, but they've done the bulk of it for you. And they've done other things where there was a Florida Department of Environmental Protection. They had a meeting where they were going to talk about what they're trying to do to not impact the springs as much. And the Florida Springs Council sent out like a bulletin like, hey, we need people here. We need to let them know that we are serious about our springs being protected. Please come. So all we did was a group, we all got together and we had posters and we did a rally, and there was a press conference. And sometimes they just need people to show up and people to show representatives that we actually care about this. So we aren't going to stand for our springs to continue to be damaged. And all of that works very well for my life and getting involved because I am making a difference, but in a way that works for me, that I'm not getting pulled too much in that direction when I also need to take care of things at home. So it's a good balance.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is not just a problem in Florida. Obviously, there are natural springs and parks and water sources that are being affected in this way, and our oceans as well. And a large part of it is environmental contamination through the kind of chemicals that the factories use and dump oftentimes. One of the reasons why our water, not everywhere, but in a lot of municipalities, is fluoridated is because factories wanted a cheap way to get rid of their fluoride waste. And so instead of paying to get rid of it, now they could sell it to the government. And it's caused health issues to a lot of people. So it's really important to protect the nature that we already have, because it's very hard to reverse the damage that we've done, so we've got to be more conscious of that and how we live, and be proactive in government. The government should be there to serve us and protect us, and oftentimes governments forget that, our representatives forget that, and instead they use their government positions to advance their own monetary gain. And it's our responsibility as citizens to not let them do that. And so it's really good to advocate for causes and things that we believe in.
Mhm.
So thank you so much, Jessica. What can I just ask you before we go? What is your one final message, one final word that you would like to say to everyone?
I would like to encourage everyone to get out and enjoy nature in whatever way they can, even if it means driving somewhere and rolling down the windows, if that's all that you can muster. Open your window. I mean, my office is, I have a different screen right now, but I have a window in front of me here. I have a sliding glass door back there. So even when I'm working at my computer, I'm still like I can feel the sunshine on me, in whatever way. All of it counts. Even if you can't like go to Colorado and hike in the Rockies, that's okay. You don't have to. If you can, awesome, and enjoy it. But if all you can do is like step outside or, go out in your wheelchair just right outside your front door, if you can, I encourage you to do it. Just having that sunshine, just breathing in that air, feeling a breeze, whether it's warm or cool, it'll just kind of change something in you. It just is like a bit of a reset. And in any way that you can, go do it, enjoy it, and just have a moment.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yes, there's absolutely so many benefits being out in nature, improving your immune system, better cardiovascular health, reduce inflammation, better sleep. I homeschool as well. And sometimes I feel like we never get out of the house. And so sometimes I'm like, hey, kids, do some schoolwork outside in the sunshine, get some sun and fresh air and things like that. And it also helps to reduce stress, improve cognitive function, increase mindfulness, improve your mood, boost mental clarity. And I see that in my children. Also, sometimes, especially in the summertime, we'll spend like a whole day in the park swimming and just hanging out in the sun and nature. And I just feel so boosted and energized. Even though I've been doing things the whole day, I have it's a different kind of energy. It's like this, I don't know how to explain it. It's like clarity. It's not like a caffeine rush, it's different. It comes from the sun, it comes from nature, vitamin D, but so much more than just that.
Yes, my kids started playing lacrosse recently, and we'll play. It's every Wednesday that we go to practice, and then after that we go to a spring. So basically, from like 10:30 to like 3, they're outside playing, they're swimming, they're like just running around, and it's so beautiful to watch them. Just like I'm like, oh my gosh, my children are outside enjoying it. They're getting their vitamin D, they're running, they're jumping in the water. Like it's perfect. It's perfect. I
Yes,
love it. It's been
yes. Yeah, you
beautiful
feel
children.
good, right? As a mom, when you
Mhm.
see your children like having fun, like enjoying just nature, right? Because this is
Yes.
one of God's free gifts that he gives to us. Another one is like relationships with loved ones, right? But nature
Mhm.
is also one of them. Another good reason to protect it, to help protect it.
Yes.
Um, there's a verse in Psalms. It says, "The earth is full of your creatures. There is the sea, vast and spacious, teeming with creatures beyond number, living things both large and small." And that's another thing that we connect with nature, right? Is the animals, the butterflies, the insects that get to find lizards and frogs, and we spot deer sometimes and rabbits, and it's better than candy,
Mhm.
much healthier, anyways. And we get to
Yeah.
connect with God through His creation as well.
Yes, absolutely. I love it.
Okay, well, thank you so much for spending this time with me. Not quite an hour, but almost there. And please, everyone, remember to visit her website and subscribe, walkandpaddle.com, to help you get started on your journey to connecting with nature, appreciating the sunshine and fresh air and all these good things, these free things that God has to give us.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Shalom.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Algar and I am the host at Expertise TV, and I'm very excited to be introducing you to our guest today, Mayim Vega. Now, Mayim Vega is a former NASA computer scientist turned holistic healer after facing a very personal health crisis, which the modern medical system could not resolve. In 2009, she founded Arukah.com, which offers an holistic healer certification program focusing on 3 pillars: naturopathic herbalism, holistic life coaching, and online business and marketing to empower people to become holistic healers and achieve maximum impact in the world. Mayim combines her scientific background, natural healing methods, and faith in the creator and great physician to guide others on a path to personal and professional well-being. Mayim, it's clear that you are very passionate about the topic of holistic health and particularly helping people who are wanting to transition into this approach. How did you find yourself in this line of work, and why is this work so important to you?
Thank you, Ashley, for taking the time to speak with me. And I'd love to answer that question. So, the way I found myself in this line of work starts with my story of when I transitioned from becoming a computer scientist at the NASA Ames Research Center to becoming an entrepreneur and building my first online business in digital marketing. And the reason why I did that is so that I could stay at home and be with my newly born son at the time. And now I have 7 children of my own, and always wanted to homeschool them and just be there for them. And so that's why I became an entrepreneur. But my first few years as an entrepreneur was extremely difficult. And I thought it was healthy, but later on, after all my studies, I realized there were a lot of things that I was doing that was not very healthy. They were not very healthy habits that I had. And what ended up happening was I got really sick and I thought I was on my deathbed. And I was rushed to the emergency room. And the doctor actually thought that I had a brain tumor. But after extensive testing and examination, she told me that there was nothing wrong with me. I just, I was experiencing a lot of pain, but they had nothing for me. There was nothing they could do for me. She said that she could give me some really strong painkillers, but that's really it. She couldn't really get rid of the problem. And so I took the painkillers, but again, painkillers and any pharmaceutical drug never address the root cause of illness and disease. And that's exactly why this line of work is so important to me and why I went on my own personal journey to become a holistic healer, to study nutrition, herbalism, holistic health, and holistic life coaching, is because we all know people, and maybe probably even ourselves, who, just like me, went to the modern medical system because that's the expected thing to do. That's a normal thing to do. And, tried to get health and healing that way, but hit a dead end, hit a brick wall, and we either got medications that didn't work or that only worked for a while, or that caused side effects that were so terrible that we had to get on other medications, plural, and maybe even the medication or medications caused side effects that caused other health issues. And sometimes the health issues are worse than the first problem that you originally had. And we're on this ridiculous roller coaster of drug after treatment after procedure, because the modern medical system never addresses the root cause. And medical professionals who have woken up know this. And that's why I have medical professionals in my program, including, doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, medical technicians, etc., who are learning from me, who are, taking the certification program because they realize that our system is broken and we need to fix it. It is our destiny as humanity to overcome all this nonsense, really. We can do better and we will do better. I know it. And that's why, in my certification program, sometimes I joke around. No, it's not really a joke, but I say, I'm empowering not just holistic healers, but holistic warriors. We're in a battle. We're in a battle over our own health and healing to safeguard and protect that, and that of our families and friends and community, of course, as well. And we're also in a battle against very powerful people who, because of profits, like to suppress holistic health and healing truths to keep us just sick enough so that we need something, pharmaceuticals, but not well enough to ever get off them. That is truly the goal of big pharma, of the pharmaceutical industry. It's not true. They don't want to heal us. They don't want to cure us. They want to keep us just sick enough so that we keep giving them our money. And you know what? Me personally, I have better things to spend with my money, like on good food, clean herbs, things that don't cause these ridiculous side effects that we experience with pharmaceutical drugs.
Thank you, Mayim. So that brings me to my next question. What are some of the key benefits of transitioning from the conventional healing approach to a holistic approach in health and healing?
Okay, so that's another really great and important question. The key benefits of transitioning from conventional healing to a holistic approach are, right now, I can think of three main reasons. Number one, the holistic approach is safer. Number two, the holistic approach is more effective. And number three, the holistic approach is the true approach that gets to the root cause. Okay. Now, I'd like to illustrate the first point, the safety of holistic medicine. If someone who was taking some, let's say blood pressure medication or something like that, visited me at my house, let's say I invited them over for dinner, and let's say they had to take some of their medicine and they dropped one of their pills, right, in my dining room or in my living room floor. Now, I have very small children. I have a 4-year-old. And what if my 4-year-old found that pill on the floor and thought it was candy or something like that and put it in her mouth and ate it? What would happen? I would immediately have to call the poison control center to get that pill out of her system, because those pills can have deadly side effects. But what if someone dropped a vitamin C pill or a tincture, you know, um, you know, and one of my children found it? For the most part, if they found it and took it, they might have a little diarrhea. It might be really spicy on their tongue, and so they would stop taking it. But no, I wouldn't have to control the poison control center, because vitamins and herbs and minerals are extremely, like 1,000 times safer than pharmaceutical drugs. There's a few types of, supplements that you might have to call the poison control center, but for the most part, no, you won't have to do that, because our body knows how to work with those substances. It is not a drug. It is a healing tool. Okay. So completely safe. Also, exercise, diet, those are all safe, right? Sleep, those are all part of holistic health and healing. Completely safe, zero side effects. Now, let's talk about the effectiveness. The holistic approach is more effective. And the reason why we know this is because in my practice, and this is the experience of many holistic healers, when it comes to the conventional ways with the pharmaceutical drugs, as I said before, they don't deal with the root cause. They just mask symptoms. So, you might take a cough suppressant, let's say, for example, but if you are not dealing with the root cause, why are you coughing in the first place? Why do you have allergies? Why do you have the flu, etc.? Why is your immune system not strong enough to overcome this in just a few hours or just a day or two, overnight? Why? Because you have not built up your immune system. You haven't boosted it or live the kind of life that you need to in order to avoid those common illnesses altogether. I have one of my students is a medical doctor, and she said that she used to take anti-allergy drugs every single week because of her allergies. The allergy drugs don't boost your immune system; they just suppress it. They just oppress your allergy symptoms. But when you have allergy symptoms, it's your body talking to you and telling you, hey, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this thing that you're eating or this environment that you've just stepped into because of my state of being. I'm not strong enough. That's what your immune system is saying to you. But I taught her a really powerful vitamin protocol that actually boosts your immune system so that your immune system is strong enough to overcome allergies. And so that's the difference. It is effective because it is true. It is true holistic health and healing because it strengthens your immune system. It doesn't silence it, like I said before. And the third issue is the root cause. Holistic health and healing deals with the root cause, and the conventional approach of drugs and surgery, etc., does not. That doesn't mean that you sometimes don't need surgery, for example, or in an emergency situation need a drug, but you're not dealing with the root cause. And if you deal with the root cause, you can make your problems either go away or become extremely minimal, safely, effectively, and naturally without poisoning your body and causing the roller coaster of side effects.
Mayim, you have developed an incredible program that you've already mentioned called the Arukah Holistic Healer Certification Program, which you have specifically created for those looking to either transition into the holistic approach or for those who are wanting to grow in their knowledge and practice. Can you talk us through what differentiates this program from other similar programs that are currently out there?
Thank you, Ashley. Yes, the certification program at arukah.com is really, truly incredible. And there's a few things that set it apart, actually, many things, but I'd like to focus on a few. And one of them is that when I designed the program, I designed it for someone who was in my situation many years ago, someone who was a busy mom who had a lot of work to do and a lot of things on her plate, but still wanted to empower herself with the knowledge of holistic health and healing for herself, for her family, so she could take care of her family, and maybe even build a career where, very specifically, she could stay at home and, just like me, be a stay-at-home mom. And, even a homeschool mom. I've been a homeschool mom. My oldest is 20 now, and I homeschooled him the whole way. And he's already graduated college, and he's got a computer science degree, and he's an entrepreneur himself. I instilled that dream in him. So being able to, I was able to surpass my income at NASA, and still homeschool my children. It's pretty awesome achievement. And so I wanted to empower people in my program to do exactly the same as I've done, to become a holistic healer, to have a successful online business so that they can have time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom, meaning that there's no glass ceiling. No one who you need to get a raise from. You just have to help people. That's how I get paid, is when I help people, right? And so that's one of the advantages. Another advantage is it's very hands-on and apprenticeship based. And you could go to a college to study to become a naturopathic doctor, or another holistic professional like a chiropractor. But it's going to take a lot more money, and a lot more time as well. This program can be completed in 1 year, but because all of my students pretty much are busy professionals already, or busy moms, it's self-paced. So if you have a lot of things on your plate, it's okay. It's still going to be there for you. There's not like a time limit. You're not going to, your grade's not going to be lowered because you submit an assignment late or anything like that. It's self-paced. And so I've designed it for the busy mom, or the working woman. And another thing that sets it apart is we have three core pillars in our program. One is that our students study naturopathic herbalism. And that takes up the bulk of our program. And naturopathic herbalism includes studying the foundations of holistic health and healing, identifying toxins and detoxification, also nutrition and orthomolecular nutrition, or megadose vitamin therapy, as well as herbalism, which includes also homeopathy and aromatherapy with essential oils. And also they study Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine. But it's mostly focused on Western medicine, Western herbalism, excuse me. And then the next core pillar, the second one, is holistic life coaching. And the reason why holistic life coaching is part of the program is to incorporate the mind spirit aspect of it, right? If herbs and supplements are the alternative to pharmaceutical drugs, well, holistic life coaching is like the holistic alternative to psychiatry. It deals with the mind and the spirit, and spirit has to be part of it because we are spiritual beings. We're not just physical beings, we're also spiritual beings. Now, a lot of holistic health and healing schools are based on different religions, New Age, or other pagan religions. And this program, because I'm Jewish, is based on the Creator. It's based on the Bible and biblical principles, Judeo-Christian principles. And so, therefore, I have a lot of people who are of that faith persuasion. Jews, Christians, or people who maybe they don't really identify as Jewish or Christian, but they're open to it, or they grew up in that faith, and they don't necessarily want all the new age spirituality. They want the kind of spirituality that they are comfortable with and used to. That's another thing that sets us apart. And life coaching is all about mindset and how to have healthy relationships with yourself, with others. Of course, also, with food and your body and lifestyle. Holistic life coaching encompasses all of that. And it's a very important part of holistic health and healing, especially because stress is often the root cause of many illnesses, common illnesses, and also chronic diseases. So, that mind and spirit aspect is very important. And the third aspect is online business marketing. And again, the reason why that's important is because, as I told you, I really want my students to thrive and to be able to, have that time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom, which an online business provides. But also because, there's not a lot of jobs for herbalists, or life coaches even. And so we really have to be entrepreneurial. And it's very, very rewarding. And because of my background, with my digital marketing business, my first business, I can really help people in that department.
Thanks so much, Mayim. So I love the power of testimony and hearing people's personal experiences or journeys. Can you share some of the success stories that might be coming to mind or testimonials from past students?
Yes, we certainly have a lot of success stories and testimonials, and we'll show some of those testimonials at the end of our talk today in this video. But I could talk about a few of them that are maybe recent. One of them is one of my students. She told me that she wanted to become a nutritionist, but I guess her life's journey didn't really allow for that. So when she heard about my program, my certification program, when it first launched, she joined, and she really wanted to help her husband, who had been suffering from colitis under the care of doctors for about 20 years, ever since he was in the military. And he was going from medication to medication and, suffering with diarrhea and insomnia and restless legs and indigestion and, all these terrible things that colitis can cause. And so I actually created a custom module for her to help her husband with that. And in 2 months, she helped her husband get off the medication and heal from colitis using food and herbs and natural holistic healing methods. So that was a great accomplishment for her. And, I get people, contacting me saying that I helped them grow their hair back, or actually someone said, oh, you helped save a little girl's life, just beautiful, wonderful things like that. You helped me heal my daughter, You helped me grow, regrow my teeth so I don't have pain from cavities anymore. Like just all these wonderful testimonies. And that's the reason why I love doing what I do. And and you will too, if you join the program. It's so rewarding and fulfilling to understand and to know that you are helping people, truly helping people in ways that they can't get in the modern medical system. It's so rewarding.
Incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mayim. I can only imagine the sense of reward when people start applying these principles to their lives and actually see a change and transformation. And for somebody as passionate as you are around this topic, to witness that and to be a part of that, I imagine that the reward is priceless. Another common question that arises is, once someone completes the program, what are some of the practical steps one would take in order to start a successful career in holistic health?
Okay, that's a great question. And that's actually what the third pillar of our program is all about is, what do you do? Practical steps on what you would do to start a successful career in holistic health. And in that program, we teach our students how to create a high ticket transformational health coaching program that really helps people deal with a serious a problem, a serious health issue. And that doesn't mean that it's a deadly, problem, but it can be something that really affects their life, right? Even skin disorders can really affect your life, right? Even though it's not necessarily deadly. Weight loss could be something that is dealing with a serious issue. There's so many different types of health coaching programs that one can make, anxiety, depression, hormonal issues, etc. So they build, it's part of the program. They will do this while they're still in the program, and we'll support them the whole way. Is to build that first high ticket health coaching program, and then set up their online assets such as their website, their social media, a video sales letter, press releases, podcasts, all those things that online entrepreneurs need in order to connect with people, get their message of health and healing out there, and build and grow and scale their business.
Thank you so much, Mayim. It's been so great talking with you today. But before we close, for those that would like to get started on the journey to becoming an holistic healer and wanting to learn a little bit more about the certification program, how do they go about contacting you?
Yes, it's been wonderful talking to you today as well. And for all those who would like to get started on their journey to become a holistic healer and learn more about the certification program, all they need to do is visit the website, www.arukah.com, ARUKAH.com, and dig into that and schedule a discovery call. And I would love to be your mentor, your health coach, your teacher in guiding you to become a holistic healer, to become the healer of your home and your family and your community, and to help you build a profitable online health coaching business.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Mayim. So there we have it, folks. If you are ready to move forward in your own journey of becoming a holistic healer, then you can visit the website at www.arukah.com, where you can schedule your first discovery call. Thanks so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure.